The wine burned down her throat like fire as Bella sat frozen at the long dinner table. Around her, the laughter and chatter of wealthy guests faded into a dull hum. Then came his voice, calm, proud, and cruel. "My son deserves better than someone from the gutter," said Mr. Harrison, raising his glass as if giving a toast. The words sliced through the air, leaving silence behind. Faces turned toward Bella, eyes filled with shock, curiosity, and judgment. He wasn't done. Street garbage in a borrowed dress, pretending to belong in our world. 23 pairs of eyes shifted between them, waiting to see if the nobody would fight back. Bella's hands trembled under the table as she folded her napkin, pressing her fingernails into her palm until she felt pain. The linen was soft, expensive, worth more than her first apartment's rent. She placed it neatly beside her plate and rose from her chair with quiet grace. "Thank you for dinner, Mr. Harrison," she said evenly. "And thank you for finally being honest about how you feel." Her boyfriend, Adam, reached for her hand. "Bella, don't," she smiled faintly. "It's fine, love. Your father's right. I should know my place." The smirk on Mr. Harrison's face was one she'd never forget. Proud, smug, and satisfied. He believed he'd won. That he'd finally chased away the woman he thought was unworthy of his son. But he had no idea what storm he'd just started. Bella lifted her chin and walked out, ignoring the whispers that followed her. Past the marble foyer, past the servants who avoided her eyes, past the shiny black Bentley that Mr. Harrison had bragged about all evening. She reached her small Toyota parked outside the mansion. Adam caught up to her, breathless. "Bella, please wait." He grabbed her hand, his eyes wet with tears. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea he would say those things." Bella's voice was calm, almost too calm. "This isn't your fault," she said softly. "I'll talk to him, make him apologize." "No, Adam," she interrupted, brushing a strand of his hair back. "No more excuses. He said what he's been thinking all along. At least now we know where we stand." "Please don't let him ruin us," Adam whispered. She kissed his forehead gently. "He can't ruin what's real. I'll call you tomorrow." Then she turned, got into her car, and drove off into the night. The city lights flashed through her windshield as Bella gripped the steering wheel tighter. The mansion's golden glow disappeared in her rearview mirror, replaced by the cold shine of street lamps. Her phone buzzed again and again, calls she ignored. Probably Adam's mother or sister, trying to calm things down. But Bella wasn't interested in peace tonight. She had other calls to make. "Call Mia," she said into her car's voice assistant. "Mia speaking, boss." "Everything okay?" came the sleepy reply. "Cancel the Harrison merger," Bella said firmly. Pause followed. "Ma'am, we're set to sign Monday." I said cancel it. Mia's fingers clicked rapidly on her keyboard. "Bella, are you sure? The contract's worth billions. The penalty alone." "I don't care about the penalty," Bella interrupted. "Send the notice to their legal team tonight." "Reason: irreconcilable differences in values." "He called you names again, didn't he?" Mia's tone softened. "He called me garbage, Mia. In front of a room full of people." Silence filled the car except for the steady hum of the highway. "Understood," Mia said at last. "I'll draft the termination notice. Do you want me to leak it to the press?" "Not yet," Bella replied coldly. "Let him wake up to the notice first." By the time Bella reached her penthouse, the night had swallowed the city skyline. She poured herself a glass of scotch and stepped out onto the balcony. The city glowed below, bright and indifferent. She had worked too hard to ever be pitted again. William Harrison thought he knew who she was, a poor girl who had climbed too high. He didn't know that the company his firm was trying to merge with, Crosstech Industries, belonged entirely to her. He didn't know that the woman he'd insulted was the one holding his company's lifeline. Bella had spent the last decade building her empire piece by piece, using quiet strategy and fierce patience. Every investor, every patent, every deal had been part of a bigger plan. She had stayed hidden behind layers of holding companies, never craving fame, only power. "Let them underestimate me," she'd told me years ago. "That's when I strike." Her phone buzzed again, this time flashing Martin Keene, the CFO of Harrison Enterprises. She smirked and answered. "Good evening, Martin." His voice was tight. "Ms. Cross, I just received a termination notice from your company. There must be a mistake." "No mistake," Bella replied, sipping her drink. "But we're supposed to sign on Monday," he said, panic rising. "The board already approved the merger." "Then the board should have thought twice before their CEO humiliated me in public." There was silence, the kind that carried realization. "What did Mr. Harrison do?" Martin asked quietly. "Ask him yourself," Bella said. "Good night, Martin." She ended the call and set her phone aside, smiling faintly. Somewhere across town, William Harrison's peaceful evening was about to unravel, and she didn't regret a thing. The next morning, Bella woke to 47 missed calls. Even William himself had called 6 times. She brewed her coffee as the city woke outside her window. When Mia called, her tone was eager. "Bloomberg got the story. They're asking for a comment." Bella smiled slightly. "Tell them Crosstech has decided to explore other opportunities that better align with our values." "Vague but devastating," Mia laughed. "Also, William Harrison is in the lobby." Bella paused mid-sip. "He's here." "Yes, and security won't let him up." "Should I throw him out?" Bella's lips curved. "No. Let him wait, 30 minutes, conference room C. And make sure the chairs are uncomfortable." 30 minutes later, Bella entered the conference room. William Harrison stood as soon as she walked in, looking nothing like the proud man from the night before. His tie was crooked, his eyes heavy with sleeplessness. "Thank you for seeing me," he said quietly. Bella sat down without offering her hand. "You have 5 minutes." He swallowed hard. I apologize for my words. They were inappropriate." Bella's lips twitched. "Inappropriate? You called me garbage in front of your guests. You humiliated me in your own home while I was there as your son's guest." "I was drunk," he muttered. "No," Bella said sharply, cutting him off. "You were honest. Drunk words are sober thoughts." William looked down, unable to meet her eyes. "What do you want from me?" "Public apology." "Fine. I'll make one. Just let the merger continue. You know it's vital for both sides." Bella leaned back in her chair, studying him. "Why should I do business with a man who disrespects me?" she asked. "Because it's business," he said quickly. "It's not personal." Bella's eyes hardened. "Everything is personal when you make it personal, Mr. Harrison." She stood and walked toward the tall glass window overlooking the city. "You researched me, didn't you? Dug into my background." He hesitated, then nodded. "You found the foster homes, the part-time jobs, the scholarships. But you stopped there. You saw where I came from and assumed that's all I'd ever be." William's face flushed, his pride crumbling bit by bit. Bella turned to face him. "Do you know why my company succeeds? 'Cause I remember what hunger feels like. I remember being dismissed and underestimated. Every product I make, every deal I sign, is proof that no one can define me by my past." Her tone grew stronger with each word. "Your company represents everything I built mine to fight against. Old money protecting old ideas, closing doors on those who weren't born into power. Tell me, Mr. Harrison, how many people on your board didn't go to Ivy League schools? How many executives grew up struggling to pay for college? How many know what it means to build something from nothing?" He opened his mouth, but no words came. Bella nodded slowly. "Exactly. That's why this merger is over. You didn't lose a deal. You lost my respect." William's shoulders sagged. "This will destroy us," he said softly. "Without this merger, Harrison Enterprises won't survive 2 years." Bella crossed her arms. "Then maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it's time the old guard made way for something new, for people who value effort over inheritance." She turned toward the door. Wait, William said desperately. What about my son? You're going to ruin his future too. Bella paused, her hand on the handle. Adam is strong. He doesn't need to inherit success. He can build it himself. That's the difference between us. You see inheritance as destiny. I see it as a cage. You'll destroy him, William said, his voice breaking. Bella looked at him with quiet pity. Maybe. But at least he'll know I stood for something. She opened the door and walked out, leaving him behind in silence. As she stepped into the hallway, Mia approached, holding a folder. Fairchild Corporation wants to meet Monday morning, she said. They're interested in a partnership. Bella smiled faintly. Good. Make sure word gets back to William by this afternoon. Already handled, Mia said, her eyes gleaming. And Adam is here. In your private office. Bella froze for a moment. How long has he been waiting? An hour, Mia replied softly. I brought him coffee. He looked like he hadn't slept. Bella took a deep breath. Thank you, Mia. You can go. As she entered her office, she found Adam sitting in her chair. His eyes red but calm. He looked up slowly. Hey, he said. Hey, Bella replied. I heard everything you told my father. You did, she asked. Mia let me see the feed from the conference room. He stood up, walking toward her. You were incredible. Bella leaned against her desk, unsure what to say. Adam, I didn't want to drag you into this. He shook his head. You didn't drag me anywhere. I stayed silent too long, hoping he'd change. Watching him last night, I was ashamed. Ashamed of me? Bella asked quietly. No, he said firmly. Ashamed of him, and of myself for not standing up to him sooner. Bella's throat tightened. What are you saying? He took her hands in his. I'm saying I want to start over with you, without his money, his name, or his approval. She blinked back tears. Are you sure, Adam? That's not a small decision. He smiled, brushing his thumb over her palm. You just canceled a $2 billion deal because he disrespected you. If you can stand up to him, I can stand beside you. Bella laughed softly, the tension breaking at last. You're crazy. Maybe, he said, smiling. But I love you. I love you too, she whispered. Their kiss was quiet, long, and full of relief, the kind that follows a storm finally passing. Her phone buzzed on the desk, breaking the moment. Mia, Bella answered. Mr. Harrison is holding an emergency board meeting, Mia reported. He's trying to convince the board to reach out to you directly. Bella smirked. Then tell them Crosstech might consider a merger under new leadership. Emphasis on new. Adam's eyes widened. You're going to push him out of his own company. Bella nodded slowly. I'm going to give them a choice, evolve or vanish. Adam exhaled. He won't go quietly. Bella smiled faintly. I wouldn't want him to. The next morning, the world buzzed with the story. News anchors discussed it, analysts debated it, and social media turned it into a trending war between old money and new power. Crosstech cancels billion-dollar merger, one headline read. Rumor, Harrison Enterprises faces collapse. Bella sipped her coffee in silence as the reports rolled in. Adam stood beside her, watching the city below their window. They're going to come for you, he murmured. Let them, she said calmly. I'm not afraid of noise. I'm afraid of silence, and I've stayed silent long enough. By noon, William's company was in chaos. Board members demanded answers, investors threatened to pull out, and journalists flooded the front gates. William tried to control the damage, but it was too late. His empire was slipping away faster than he could grasp it. How did this happen? One board member shouted during the meeting. Because our CEO thought arrogance was strategy, another replied. William slammed his fist on the table. We can still fix this. I'll talk to her again. But the board had already lost faith. The world had changed and they knew it. Back at Crosstech headquarters, Mia entered Bella's office carrying a tablet. "You might want to see this," she said. On the screen, a live financial broadcast showed William walking into the board meeting looking defeated. "He's trying to save his seat," Mia said. Bella watched quietly, her expression unreadable. "Do you think they'll fire him?" Mia asked. "I don't think," Bella said softly. "I know." She turned away from the screen and focused on a new report. "Prepare our statement for when it happens. I want to control the story, not just react to it." An hour later, the confirmation came through. Harrison Enterprises had voted William Harrison out as CEO. The board cited strategic misalignment and failure to protect corporate partnerships. Bella leaned back in her chair, letting the words sink in. 4 years, men like him had underestimated women like her. Smart, relentless, and unafraid of starting from nothing. Now, one of the most powerful businessmen in the country had fallen by his own pride. "He'll blame you," Mia said quietly. "He already does," Bella replied. "But blame doesn't rebuild companies. Vision does." That evening, Adam came to her penthouse again, his face tense. "He's furious," he said. "He called me an ungrateful traitor for siding with you." Bella sighed softly. "I'm sorry, Adam. I didn't want to destroy him. I just couldn't let him destroy me." "You didn't destroy him," Adam said. "He did that himself." He walked closer, taking her hands. "The board wants to partner with you. They asked if I'd serve as liaison." Bella smiled faintly. "What did you say?" "I said yes, if you'd have me on your team." He chuckled. "Welcome to Crosstech, Mr. Harrison." The next day, the press went wild again. "Harrison's son joins rival company," one headline screamed. Another read, "Love, Power and Revenge, the woman who brought down a dynasty." Cameras waited outside their building, hoping for a glimpse of Bella and Adam together. When she finally stepped out to attend a meeting, microphones surrounded her. "Ms. Cross, is it true you ended the merger over a personal argument?" one reporter shouted. Bella smiled calmly. "It wasn't personal. It was about respect, something every partnership should be built on." Inside the boardroom, Bella and Adam met with the restructured Harrison Enterprises team. "We're open to revisiting a merger," said the acting CEO, a woman named Karen Moore. "Under new management, of course." Bella nodded. "Crosstech is willing to discuss collaboration, but not ownership." Karen smiled. "Agreed. We'll rebuild, not repeat." Adam glanced at Bella across the table, pride shining in his eyes. The meeting ended with a handshake, cameras flashing outside as they exited. For Bella, it wasn't victory. It was balance restored. Later that evening, Bella stood alone on her balcony, watching the skyline shimmer under the setting sun. The city felt quieter now, like it was breathing with her. Adam joined her, sliding his arm around her waist. "You did it," he whispered. "No," she said softly. "We did it." He smiled, pressing his forehead to hers. "He'll never forgive us, you know." Bella looked out over the horizon. "Maybe not. But someday he'll understand." They stood in silence for a while, the chaos of the week fading into distant memory. 6 months passed. Crosstech and the newly rebuilt Harrison Enterprises merged officially, their partnership hailed as one of the most innovative in the industry. Adam became head of strategic development, earning respect through his own skill, not his father's name. William never spoke to either of them again, though Adam's mother called occasionally, her voice softer each time. Bella no longer looked back with anger. She looked forward with purpose. "You changed the game," Mia told her one afternoon. "No," Bella replied with a smile. "We just played it better." On a quiet Sunday morning, Adam knelt in their garden, holding out a small velvet box. Bella froze, tears already forming before he spoke. "You taught me what real strength looks like," he said. "And I want to spend the rest of my life beside it." She covered her mouth, nodding through her tears. "Yes," she whispered. He slipped the ring onto her finger, and the world seemed to stop for a moment. No applause, no audience. Just two people who had fought through pride, pain, and power to find peace. The news of their engagement spread quickly. Headlines called it a love story born from ruins. Reporters flooded her company's inbox, wanting exclusive interviews. Bella ignored them all. She wasn't interested in fame. She had lived through noise before. What she wanted now was peace, not validation. Adam's mother, Margaret, called the next day. Her voice trembled over the phone. "Congratulations, dear. I'm happy for you both." Bella smiled softly. "Thank you, Mrs. Harrison." There was a pause. "I hope one day William will understand what he lost." "So do I," Bella replied gently. Weeks turned into months of quiet rebuilding. The world eventually moved on to new scandals and fresher stories. Bella and Adam focused on their shared projects, spending long hours in meetings and late nights on the balcony, dreaming about the future. She watched him grow into his new role, confident, capable, unafraid of challenges. "You've changed," she said one evening. He laughed. "Or maybe I finally became who I was meant to be." Bella smiled. "You always were. You just needed to stop living in his shadow." "And you," he teased, "needed to stop hiding behind yours." One afternoon, Adam came into her office holding an envelope. "It's from him," he said quietly. Bella looked up. "Your father." He nodded. "He wants to meet. Says it's important." She took the letter and read the short note inside. "If you still believe in second chances, meet me at the old house. Noon tomorrow." Bella stared at it for a long time, her emotions twisting between anger and curiosity. "Are you going?" Adam asked. She exhaled. "Yes, but not for him, for me. I need closure." Adam nodded. "Then I'm coming with you." The next day, they drove back to the mansion where everything had started. The house looked smaller now, stripped of its arrogance. William was waiting by the door, older somehow, his pride finally weathered. "Bella." "Adam." His voice was quieter than she remembered. "Thank you for coming." Bella stood straight, her tone calm. "You said you wanted to talk." He nodded, looking down. "I was wrong. About you. About everything." She didn't reply, waiting for more. "When the board voted me out, I blamed you. I told myself you ruined me. But the truth is, I ruined myself long before that dinner." He sighed, eyes filled with regret. "I built walls around my family, thinking I was protecting them. But I was really protecting my ego. You didn't destroy my empire, Bella. You exposed the cracks that were already there." Adam looked at his father with quiet sadness. "Dad." William held up a hand. "Let me finish. I can't undo what I said to you, Bella. But I can say I'm sorry. Not as a businessman. As a father who failed to teach his son the value of respect." Bella's eyes softened slightly. "Thank you," she said. "That means more than you think." For a moment, the air between them felt lighter, as if years of pride had finally started to fade. William reached into his pocket and pulled out a small silver cufflink. "This belonged to my father," he said, handing it to Adam. "It's yours now. Not as inheritance, but as a reminder to build something better." Adam accepted it silently. Bella turned to leave, but William stopped her. "Bella, I hope one day when people talk about me, they remember that I at least tried to make peace." She nodded. "History remembers those who change, Mr. Harrison. You've just started." Back in the car, Adam squeezed her hand. "That was brave of you," he said. "You faced him without hate." She smiled faintly. "I didn't come to hate him. I came to close the chapter." The road stretched out ahead, the afternoon sun warm and soft. "Do you think he meant it?" Adam asked. "Yes," Bella said. "He's not the same man he was that night. Life taught him humility, the same way it taught me strength. Maybe one day we'll all sit at the same table again," Adam murmured. "Maybe," she said, resting her head on his shoulder. "But this time it'll be on equal ground." Months later, they married quietly on a hill overlooking the sea. No cameras, no headlines, just a few close friends. Mia was her maid of honor, grinning proudly as Bella walked down the aisle in a simple ivory dress. Adam waited under the open sky, his eyes shining with love and pride. When she reached him, he whispered, "You look like peace." She smiled through happy tears. "You look like home." The vows were simple, honest. Two souls who had fought the world, but refused to lose each other. After the ceremony, they danced barefoot on the grass while the waves whispered below. For the first time in years, Bella felt weightless. No grudges, no expectations, just life clear and quiet. Adam lifted her hand, kissing her ring finger. "Remember what you said that night?" he asked. "Which part?" she laughed. "That respect isn't inherited. It's earned." She nodded. "I do." He smiled. "You taught the world that truth. And you taught me that love isn't inherited either. It's chosen every day." Bella's heart swelled as she whispered, "Then I choose you. Always." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in gold and rose, Bella looked out at the water and smiled. The girl once called garbage had become a symbol of grace and power. Not by revenge but by dignity. She had proven that respect could not be demanded, only earned. Somewhere far away, William Harrison watched their wedding photo in the paper and smiled sadly, whispering, "She was never garbage." In the end, Bella didn't just rise above them. She reminded the world that sometimes the trash people throw away becomes the foundation others build upon.